Hello everybody, my name is Genki202 and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we broke into Kazuma's next door neighbor's room and we got to figure out exactly what was their deal. We originally thought that they were a Russian man, but it turns out that they were a Russian woman who was running away from her ballerina troupe. And we also learned that she has a little bit of a friend in her briefcase. So now, looks like we're probably gonna have the opportunity to look at the briefcase or just examine something else. I think we might have gotten kicked out. Hey Griffin, did we get kicked out? Get out! Messenger said out, or you want me to throw you out. Okay, so in either case, let's go ahead and continue from where we left off. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we had managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. I don't know what to do. I really wish we had a chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe you want me to throw you out again? Oh, no. Definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where the lobsters spend winter. Understand? I understand. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san. Oof. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something like that. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. He's never had cheese? They call me uncultured, but do they not have cheese in Japan? You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Okay, that's really funny. I just want to double check, make sure there isn't anything. I investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. My door? First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hosanaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. So we can move. Let's go back to Kazuma's cabin and see if there's anything new from in there. It looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hosanaga is unscathed. What do you mean? unscathed. Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Alright, more investigating! You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin to investigate. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hosanaga did. That's no Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into ball and throw him in cold room. Whew. He's come back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hosanaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you? You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. This is where Cosmo spent his final moments, writing his diary. 1:23 a.m., I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Looking at his writing here on the page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Cosmo left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san. We will. Nothing new, really, so far? So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilt on the floor. And they spell the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Cosmo-sama would have written these last words or word in Russian. Which begs the question of who did write it. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I did not see him there. Oh my god. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I feel bad now. You're back. Inspector! What happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. Don't worry! No! They're just... That is not just a scratch. Your eyes... Oh, I feel really bad. Made by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain I'd give you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh! I bumped into a man claiming to be the great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock. I don't think he was German, though. I feel like that's going to be a running bit. That explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Dude, I feel really bad. Okay, what? Nikola Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh? How? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation here proved fruitful? If I am honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. Oh boy. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh? What? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. New information. What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. The Bureau's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report? Kazuma-sama. So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There was no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. Aww. I'm liking him more and more with each episode. Like, he's great. I like this guy. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah. Postmortem report has been entered into the court record. A report from the SS Bureau's medical officer giving the cause of death as a cervical spine injury. There were no traces of external injury or poison. And the great detective. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now you mention it, yes, just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish! Was all he said. Shoe polish? Wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass. Do you see? Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Ah, yes! That must be it! But how can Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I've no idea. What is it, Susato-san? Well, Kazuma's mom was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? Sort of dark brownish red, then. Yes. A little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh! Does this mean that this mark was made by the polish of Kazuma's shoes that they scuffed on the floor? Mark of the floor has been entered into the court record. Piece of small glass object and what looks like a scuff mark made by Kazuma's shoes were found by the victim's body. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you. Poor Inspector. You look exhausted. Oh, no. Well... I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asugi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke up this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. Alright, see if there's anything new to investigate. Seems to be a new detail about the grate. So this ventilator joins to Miss Padlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Padlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we are. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. I'm not sure. I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but... there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. So by bringing her pet on board, Miss Padlova has broken the rules. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes as of yet. I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. I don't know what else to do in here. Alright, I'm gonna check the first class passageway one more time. Ah! Look, Naruto-san! Seaman Stroganoff is gone! Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Ugh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Tra-la-la! Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la, lira-lira-lay. I did it the great detective way. This caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Padlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely. Before that stringy knot crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot. Miss Padlova isn't back yet. Suzato-san. Oh! Where's she gone? Hey! What are you doing? Those are her private things! That's not a moment to waste, Naruto-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-san. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port, in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruto-san. By ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Okay, that strikes me as odd. Was this like this before? All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. Exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase? I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage? Not everything bad happens on this ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here, too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Okay, that should have been the first thing I noticed. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open! It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Buria. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? There's just a few books on the desk, nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian, of course. Thanks! I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruto-san. Kindly remember that. You know what? Fair enough. Naruto-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here. Yes, why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Oh my god. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. I wonder what this little saucer's doing on the floor. Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately. Do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak on the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are a very thirsty people. Okay. Or, because Miss Pavlova only came to this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruto-san? Oh. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? No, Holo-san! It's poor etiquette to go stifling for someone's rubbish, you know? Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly! We have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Ah, yes. They're displayed in the cabin too. Look, the SF Bureau's rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose if Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret until after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. Probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh, yes. So do I. So this ventilator connects to Cosmo's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Ah, maybe so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. There's one of these next to Ben Cosmo's cabin too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. Uh-oh. She barely hesitated there. And she gave it a good thug, too. Or tug. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to! We're trying to investigate in secret! This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside. And it seals up perfectly, too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around a closed door, either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Yeah, I've cleared this room completely. I don't think there's anything else here. Then check the passageway one more time. Oh my god! Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Oh my god. How long were you guys screaming at me to go check the other side? Ugh. Editor Griffin, tell me exactly how much time we wasted by checking that room. By the time you cut things down, I hope. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look! Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? That is painfully true right now. He seems to be stealing a look at something. He sings to himself. Tra-la-la, lirry-lirry-lay. I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or is he simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about. Excuse me. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What was it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now's a good time as any. I nearly dropped to the floor with one of my famous red hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in the study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 AM this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... Ha 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 ha! You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Ha ha ha! Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman off stands sentry in this first-class passageway. And he has almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Ship's log has been entered into the court record. A record kept by crews assigned to first-class cabin area. There are virtually no entries from 2 AM until early this morning. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes Sholmes. Brilliant. Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Okay, so that's now 3 people that have had headaches. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Something wrong, Suzuta-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? I'm gonna guess that now that we've actually talked to Sholmes, there's probably something in the cabin now. So let's take a look. Yep, there we go. Shut down engines immediately! Vessel sighted a quarter of mile 4! Full stop! Hard to starboard! All hands brace for impact! What the heck? What the... I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? Uh-oh. I can't stand. Tsunoda-san, hold on to me. Ah! What? Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. It looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness. What about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosanaga. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Look at that! The door's bolted! Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books! They're just like they were before again! Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I'd better tidy this place up first. A violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Alright guys, I think that's a pretty good place to stop. Relatively short episode this time around. So, we weren't really able to accomplish much in terms of investigating. We did get a couple new things, but we did kind of discover that there seems to be a way for the bolts on the doors to shift. So I think that's going to come to play later. Since it's possible for the door to bolt, maybe it's also possible for the door to unbolt. So we'll see where that takes us. So next time on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, we will open the door for Inspector Hosanaga and check in with him. See you guys then.